Hi everyone, it's Steve and Doug from the Intraining Running Injury Clinic. We help runners manage their running by providing training programs, the right footwear, injury advice, and rehabilitation management strategies. Keeping you on the road to reach your goals and enjoy running is our highest priority. Doug, today we're going to talk about important factors you should know about how to run safely in the heat.
Yeah, really important topic for particularly Brisbane runners, but anybody who comes to visit the Sunshine State, if you're up from Sydney or Melbourne, you need to know what to expect when you're running in a warmer weather.
Yeah, we had a lot of our races delayed to hotter months, and certainly Sunshine Coast Marathon was one of them.
Yep.
There's a bit of carnage going on at that course, and a lot of it was because people just either didn't prepare properly to run in the heat, or they didn't adjust their goals accordingly.
For sure. I mean, it's a hot day anyway, being an October race, but a lot of people had their goals pinned on Gold Coast Marathon, which is unfortunately got cancelled, and then people then aimed for the August Sunshine Coast Marathon, which then got postponed to October. So a lot of training, a lot of heartache, a lot of ambition went into that race, and unfortunately just ended poorly for a lot of people.
Yeah, there's quite a few people along the road, and people that didn't finish, a few people going to hospital, and for all sorts of different reasons. And certainly if you live in a cold place and then you go somewhere where it's going to be warm, or if you've been training at 4:30 in the morning and your race starts at 7, well then you got to adjust, and you have to adjust your race plan, but you also have to try to acclimatize. And well, what do you think acclimatization is about? What can you do to make yourself better able to cope with heat?
Well, there's certainly a few things in terms of how you approach your training. So as you mentioned before, if you've got a 7:30 race start like the Gold Coast Marathon used to be, and then all your runs are finishing by 7:30, your body's not going to be used to pushing yourself in that sort of condition. So certainly doing some of your training sessions in a warmer temperature or a later time of day can certainly help.
You don't have to do it all the time, though. I think that as long as you have a few runs that are in the heat, and you shouldn't be trying to run really hard, but your body will adjust, and it's probably about a month out that you have to really sort of be doing that.
Yeah, so I think with any training program, you need to also factor in your recovery as well. So as you said, not all runs need to be hot.
Yeah, and the good thing about I guess doing those long runs in the heat is you can find out what factors are going to be significant, whether it's sweating more and then getting more chafing, or whether it's affecting your ability to consume fluid because you're going to sweat a little bit more. So there's all those factors in it, isn't there?
Absolutely. So if we consider what you need to do, so adjusting your goal time is, I guess, realistic, and then working out roughly how many minutes per kilometre you're going to be spending your pace at. But in terms of that, I mean, what would ideal conditions be for everything to line up and be perfect?
Yeah, it's actually quite cold. So it's uncomfortably cold is the ideal temperature for distance running. So they say for marathoners, it's about 6 degrees Celsius.
Yep.
We don't really get that cold in Queensland.
Not too often, no.
I guess the advantage of the cold weather is that heat buildup is the major factor which slows you up. So if you can not have that heat build up, then it's not going to affect you during it. You're not going to sweat as much, so you won't lose as much fluid. And when you do sweat and lose fluid, your blood gets thicker, so it's a little bit more of a strain on your heart. I think the real issue, I think, is that people turn up to a race, they have this idea of what they want to achieve in the race, and they go out and try to run that regardless of the conditions. So the single most important thing is to adjust your goals based on the conditions.
Absolutely. And I guess a good rough rule of thumb is for every degree above 10 degrees Celsius, which is roughly the yardstick for a good race temperature, you expect around about a 2-second per kilometre slowdown, generally over a marathon distance, possibly not so much over 5K. You shouldn't be that badly affected, but certainly that can make a fairly significant difference if you think back to the Sunshine Coast Marathon, where it's close to 20 degrees for your starting temperature.
Yeah, and I think that if people have that as their race plan and they then go to the race and consider the conditions and adjust it, then they're not going to get into trouble. But a lot of people also during the race, they don't listen to what their body's telling them, and then suddenly, you know, they're lying beside the road. So the real interesting thing with people who collapse at races, it's predominantly males in the 40 to 50 year age group. So they're the ones that ignore what their body's telling them.
We're normally pretty good at ignoring the warning signs. But
so what else can we do to prepare ourselves?
Well, certainly during your training, you want to prepare for how you'd race. So that would also include considering your nutrition and your hydration as well. So you don't want to be overhydrated because equally there's risks with that. Do you want to
so hyponatremia is a condition where you drink too much water and your blood gets thinned out. The sodium concentration in your blood gets reduced because you have water, but you sweat out your salt. And it's actually much more dangerous than dehydration, actually. I don't know if people die from dehydration in a race. I don't think it actually... I mean, they might die in the desert, you know, when they're stuck and lost in the desert or something, but in races, people don't actually die from dehydration. They die from hyponatremia. And it's really quite a serious condition because your body sort of shuts down. But it's easy to avoid just by making sure you have adequate salt in your drinks that you have during the race. So,
and that's always a bit challenging because people may not have trained with the sports drink that's often supplied on the day. So planning ahead, knowing what they are serving, and if it's not what you're after, then be prepared. So
we got a few things here just to show you. There's the salt sticks, which are just tablets that you can take to increase your salt that you would take beforehand. There's none which you can use during the race, so it's probably more important than having calories is to have the electrolytes on a hot day. And then there's this prep. You've used that before?
Absolutely. Only twice, and both times I got a PB, so great stuff. But it just helps to prepare. Your stomach holds water a bit better, apparently, according to the research in it. So great products, but equally on the day, learn what you're going to have. Infinite's a wonderful product that's been supporting a few races lately, and loved by a lot of our ultra running
that's right.
Athletes as well. So,
and they have one for races under 3 hours and one for races over 3 hours. So for the ultra runners that go far is really great. So
what if you do 3 hours and 3 minutes?
Probably there's a crossover.
We get away with it.
So anyway, lots that you can do, and just remember that the key factors is that you acclimatize in training and you adjust your goals depending on the conditions.
Excellent.
All right, we'll see you next time. We love running.
Thanks.